rough in this country, no matter which way the election goes this fall. It's the way it is. Real Christians are hated. And that's just the fact of it. Real Christians are hated by lukewarm Christians. Real Christians are hated by fake Christians. Right? The lukewarm Christians, okay, are going to go along with the ecumenicalists. The fake Christians are going to go along with them. The cowards aren't going to let it be known that they're a Christian at all. They're just going to duck their head and hope that they don't get found out. Okay? So don't be surprised when it comes. Like the little note. I wasn't surprised by it at all. I was out here locking the door and looked, I saw something on the post and I said, I bet you I know exactly what that is. And sure enough, that's what it was. You know, I'm not surprised by it. Not one bit. The thing is, we may end up having to meet in secret. Christians have had to do that for 2,000 years. There's Christians doing it today. You know, we might have to baptize our converts in secret somewhere, in the dead of night. We may have to hide our Bibles and our hymnals, because they'll come along unannounced and come and want to search your property for these things. That's been going on for centuries. We may have to ourselves go into hiding. Can't even live publicly. That's happened. We are going through the history of the New Testament church in Sunday school. We're starting to come to that point where that's going to start happening. And you're going to have, by this persecution, Christians carrying Christianity out of the Near East, up through the Balkans, and into Europe. They go completely around Rome in this process. And they're hiding out in the mountains, and they're hiding out in the forests, and they're hiding out in caves in order, because they're being hunted down. They are being hunted down. In Rome, and in Paris and other places, they were hiding in catacombs, underground. Right? Read books like Fox's Book of Martyrs. Read the life of John Bunyan, the author of Pilgrim's Progress. Man, it's tough getting old. I'll be glad when I get rid of this thing. All right. Tortured for Christ, Richard Wurmbrand. Okay, that's modern history. Okay, that's 1950s, 60s, 70s, right there. A path not strewn with roses. I can't remember the fellow's name, but this was in Romania, 70s and 80s. They are being persecuted. Tortured for his faith, Harlan Popov in Russia. That's 70s, 80s, right there. Okay, this is nothing new. Nothing new whatsoever. There's nothing about unique. And I mean, we're told plainly in the scriptures what's going to happen and why it's happening. But we are also told exactly what to do about it, how to behave ourselves in that. Now, let me be real clear on this point. I'm not talking about not defending and protecting yourself or your loved ones if you're just randomly being assaulted or robbed or having random violence or being attacked by enemies of the state, the rioters, the anarchists, just because you are. Okay, there's a whole lot of that going on. That's a different situation entirely. Okay, but if you're being targeted and you are being targeted because you're a Christian, you're in a different situation at that point. Okay? But you, as the individual, are the one who's in that situation at that point. like I said, somebody were to come through that door tonight with the intent on hurting you, I'm going to drop him right at the door, because my responsibility is to take care of you. Okay? If they were to come in here and say, we're here to arrest you and we're going to take you out, let's go. I'm ready. You know, that's what I'm talking about here. It's not about sitting and letting people hurt other people. Now, if they're coming after me, they can have me. And you should have the same mentality. Okay? They're coming in here to hurt my wife, they're coming to hurt my family, they're coming to hurt any of you. I'm not going to let that happen. Now, like I say, you're in a situation where something like that, some sort of assault, attack, violence is occurring to you because you just happen to be there. You know, you happen to be. And so you're a convenient target for somebody, like we see so much of what's going on. You know, that's an entirely different situation, folks, and I would fully expect anybody, if you have the ability and the means or whatever, to defend and protect yourself and defend and protect others. Okay? But as a Christian, and that's what makes it tough, and what makes it tough and why we even have to address it is, again, because of the unique situation that we are in as Americans. Americans have a viewpoint and a mentality about things that is unique to us because of the nature of how this country was founded and the nature of the Constitution of this country. And we have to be very careful to not let patriotism and nationalism get mixed in with our Christianity. You know, like I said this morning, there's no such thing as a Christian nation. Was there a time in the history of this nation where the vast majority of the people were indeed born again, washed in the blood Christians? The Lord was loved, the Bible was reverenced. Absolutely. Didn't make it a Christian nation. It didn't function on Christian principles. Okay? And the division of church and state was not there to keep the church and to keep God out of government, but to keep the government out of the church. Again, people have to remember to put things in the context of the time. They had just fought a revolution against a European power that had a state church. If you were a member of the state church, you had privileges. People wanted to be members of the state church because it gave them certain privileges that you didn't get. For example, if you were a Baptist, okay, preaching, in any place that was the jurisdiction of the British Crown in the 1800s, okay, you got caught, at the very least you're getting fined. Most likely you're going to get put in jail, put in the stocks, going to get a beating, because Baptists didn't believe in baptizing babies. And the Church of England believes in baptizing babies. And so that's what that's all about. This garbage, how they try to use it's just like the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment isn't there to protect anybody's right to go duck hunting. The Second Amendment was there because they just got done fighting a battle for their independence, and if they had not had armed citizen soldiers who were armed comparable to the government that was oppressing them, they wouldn't have been able to succeed. Okay? And of course, the big thing now is, who's that idiot Marine that's running for Kennedy's place there, talking about American citizens shouldn't have weapons of war. Well, yes, we should, because that's why the Second Amendment is there, so that when idiots like him get in there and try to take our rights away, we have the ability to stand up and say, ain't gonna happen. You know? So, like I say, I found myself conflicted. And I've been praying for a couple of weeks about this, and this is what God has showed me in relation to this. Is that, you know, I'm walking down the street, you know, and somebody decides to assault me, you know, they're going to get a rough lesson. And not make the mistake of assuming that because I'm an old man, they're going to have an easy target. If they come down and say, hey, I know who you are, you're that Baptist preacher, you know, we're gonna get you. Have at it, man. You know, if I can't get away from you, then I guess you got me, and you're gonna do with me what you want to. Okay? Doesn't mean I'm gonna stick around and be a martyr, but we're told very plainly, and it's hard, love your enemies. Do good to your enemies. Pray for your enemies. Why? Yeah, there are enemies, but you know what? Jesus Christ died for them too. Whether they want it or not isn't the point. Christ died for them. Okay? And we want Christ to receive those for whom he died. He deserves to have those for whom he died. Now, if they make a choice not to, I can't help that.